The Grand Line, a sprawling, watery expanse teeming with life, laughter and the echoes of boundless adventure. A world where pirates, driven by dreams bigger than any ocean, chased after legendary treasures and the coveted title of Pirate King. This was a world of laughter and joy, of dreams and aspirations. This was the world of One Piece, a world brimming with life, where the impossible was always within reach, and the spirit of adventure burned brighter than 1,000 suns. The world remembers that fateful day, the day the seas turned against them, the day the very foundation of their reality crumbled. They called it the Great Collapse, a cataclysmic event that reshaped the very geography of their world and extinguished the flame of their collective spirit. It was a perfect storm of devastation, natural disasters of unprecedented scale, a world war waged with terrifying new weapons, and a final, desperate act of destruction by a crumbling world government. The weapons, powered by a force mankind was never meant to control, ripped the world asunder, leaving scars that ran deeper than any ocean. The Red Line, once a symbol of the world's interconnectedness, fractured and split. The Calm Belt, once a haven of tranquility, transformed into a raging tempest, its waters churning with monstrous creatures spawned from the depths of despair. The Grand Line, the very lifeblood of their world, became a toxic, treacherous labyrinth. The world that emerged from the ashes of the Great Collapse was a pale imitation of its former glory. The once great powers crumbled, their authority reduced to mere whispers on the wind. The world government, once the iron fist ruling the seas, shattered into fragmented factions, each vying for control of the scraps that remained. The Marines, once symbols of justice, became mercenaries, their loyalty bought and sold to the highest bidder. Pirates, once driven by dreams of treasure and freedom, devolved into ruthless warlords, carving out their own domains through violence and fear. The Grand Line, once a stage for grand adventures, transformed into a brutal battleground where survival was the only prize worth fighting for. The collapse. It wasn't a single event, but a cascade, a domino effect that began subtly, almost imperceptibly, like a whisper on the wind. The first signs were ecological, unpredictable weather patterns, rising sea levels swallowing entire islands whole. Then came the tremors deep within the earth, shaking the very foundations of their world. The world government, in its hubris, dismissed these as isolated incidents, mere hiccups in the natural order. They were wrong. These were not isolated incidents. They were harbingers of the chaos to come. The world was changing, groaning under the weight of an unseen hand, and its people, oblivious to the truth, continued their merry dance on the precipice of oblivion. The whispers grew louder, the tremors more violent, but still the world clung to its ignorance. Pirates plundered, Marines patrolled, and life on the Grand Line, though touched by a growing unease, continued to flow like the tides. The first to fall were the islands on the periphery, swallowed whole by the rising seas or shattered by earthquakes of unimaginable scale. Then came the storms, monstrous things that blotted out the sun and lashed the seas into a frenzy. Ships, once symbols of freedom and adventure, were reduced to splinters, their crews lost to the depths. The world government, its facade of control crumbling, finally acknowledged the crisis. But it was too late. The world was in freefall, and not even their combined might could halt its descent. The Marines, once a symbol of order, were overwhelmed, stretched thin across 1,000 collapsing fronts. Panic spread like wildfire. People, desperate for answers, turned to superstition, to ancient prophecies that spoke of a world-ending cataclysm. The whispers on the wind had become screams, a chorus of fear that echoed across the Grand Line. The world government, in its desperation, turned to its most closely guarded secrets, weapons of unimaginable power, remnants of a forgotten age. They called them the ancient weapons, capable of leveling mountains and boiling the seas. These weapons, they believed, were their only salvation. But the weapons were a double-edged sword, their power as destructive as it was tempting. To unleash them was to court annihilation, to risk not only ending the crisis, but erasing all life from the face of the Grand Line. It was a gamble, a desperate throw of the dice, but with the world crumbling around them, the world government saw no other choice. The decision to unleash the ancient weapons was met with resistance, even within the highest echelons of power. Some recognized the folly, the sheer madness of unleashing such destructive forces upon the world. But their pleas fell on deaf ears. The world government, blinded by fear and clinging to the last vestiges of its authority, was determined to see its will done, no matter the cost. There were whispers, too, of a lineage, a bloodline that carried with it the weight of destiny, the will of the D. It was said that those who bore this initial in their names were destined to challenge the heavens themselves, to reshape the world in their image. Monkey D. Luffy, the boy who dreamed of becoming the pirate king, was one such individual. But what role did the will of the D play in the events that unfolded? Were they harbingers of destruction or beacons of hope in a world spiraling towards chaos? The answer, shrouded in mystery and lost to the annals of time, remains a source of endless speculation. Some whispered that the D were responsible for the collapse, that their thirst for freedom and their defiance of authority had upset the balance of the world. Others believed that the D were chosen to guide humanity through the darkness, to rebuild from the ashes of what was lost. Deep beneath the waves, hidden from the eyes of the world, lay remnants of a civilization lost to time. Ancient cities, once teeming with life, now stood silent, their grandeur eroded by the relentless march of the sea. These were the echoes of a lost age, a time before the world government, before the Grand Line as they knew it. What secrets did these ruins hold? What knowledge, what power lay dormant within their sunken halls? These were questions that haunted the minds of those who dared to dream, who sought answers amidst the wreckage of the world. The lost civilization, they believed, held the key to understanding the collapse, to unraveling the mysteries of their past, and perhaps even charting a course for their future. But the ruins were a place of danger, guarded by ancient traps and patrolled by creatures warped by the passage of time. Only the most daring or the most desperate dared to venture into their depths, driven by a thirst for knowledge that outweighed the risks. The ancient weapons, shrouded in myth and legend, were not mere tools of destruction. They were keys, it was said, capable of unlocking hidden powers, of manipulating the very fabric of reality. Pluton, a warship of unparalleled might, said to be capable of sinking islands with a single blast. Poseidon, a living weapon, a being of immense power capable of controlling the seas themselves. And Uranus, the most enigmatic of the three, its true nature shrouded in mystery. The world government, in its arrogance, believed it could control these weapons, that it could wield their power to reshape the world in its image. But they were playing with forces they did not understand, tampering with the delicate balance of the world. The ancient weapons were not meant to be controlled. They were forces of nature, as unpredictable and as uncontrollable as the seas themselves. The decision to unleash the ancient weapons was the catalyst, the final nail in the coffin of their world. It was a decision born of desperation, of hubris, and its consequences would reverberate for generations to come. The collapse was not a random act of nature. It was the culmination of centuries of exploitation, of the world government's insatiable hunger for power. They had plundered the world's resources, waged wars on a whim, and turned a blind eye to the suffering of those they deemed beneath them. The collapse was the world's response, a reckoning for the sins of the past. The seas rose, the earth trembled, and the very fabric of their reality unraveled. It was a reset, a cleansing fire that would purge the world of its old order and pave the way for something new to rise from the ashes. What emerged from the wreckage was a world forever changed. The Grand Line, once a tapestry of vibrant cultures and boundless possibilities, was now a fragmented, desolate wasteland. The world government was no more. Its iron grip on the world shattered, and the survivors, scattered and broken, clung to life amidst the ruins of their past. The collapse had a way of stripping everything bare, of testing the limits of one's spirit. For Monkey D. Luffy, the once carefree captain with a heart full of dreams, the world's end was not an ending but a transformation. He was no longer the boy who chased after the One Piece with reckless abandon. He was older now, hardened by loss, his iconic straw hat more worn, a symbol of resilience rather than naivety. The world's collapse had taken its toll on him, etching lines of worry on his face, stealing away the carefree laughter that once defined him. His rubber body, once a testament to his boundless energy, now bore the scars of countless battles fought for survival, a constant reminder of the world's fragility. Yet beneath the weight of the world, Luffy remained unbroken. The spark in his eyes, though dimmed, refused to be extinguished. His dream of becoming the Pirate King, once a pursuit of glory, had transformed into something more profound, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness. The straw hat. A simple symbol, a gift from a legendary pirate, had become a beacon in the post-apocalyptic world. It represented something more than just Luffy. It embodied the spirit of freedom, of camaraderie, of unwavering belief in a better tomorrow. For the scattered remnants of the Straw Hat Pirates, it was a symbol of hope, a reminder that they were not alone in this shattered world. Luffy clung to that hat like a lifeline. It was a tangible connection to his past, to his crew, to the dreams they had shared before the world had fallen apart. The weight of it on his head was a constant reminder of his responsibility, not just to his own dreams, but to the hopes of those who looked to him for guidance. The world may have crumbled, but the bonds forged on the deck of the Going Merry had not been so easily broken. The Straw Hats, scattered though they were bound by something stronger than blood, stronger than the chaos that engulfed their world. They were connected by a shared history, by a shared dream, and by the unwavering belief in their captain, the boy who refused to let the world's darkness extinguish his light. Roronoa Zoro, the swordsman who once sought only to become the world's strongest, now walked a different path. The world's collapse had stripped away his ambition, replacing it with a steely resolve, a quiet determination to protect those he held dear. His swords, once tools of ambition, were now instruments of survival, their blades honed to a razor's edge by years of constant struggle. Gone was the cocky grin, the swaggering confidence that once defined him. In their place was a stoic warrior, his eyes hardened by loss, his spirit tempered by the fires of a world gone mad. The world's collapse had tested him, broken him in ways he never thought possible. But it had also forged him anew, tempered his spirit into something unyielding, unbreakable. His swords, once wielded with reckless abandon, were now extensions of his will, their every movement precise, deadly, honed by years of fighting for survival. He moved through the wasteland like a wraith, a silent protector, his presence a promise of safety in a world where such things were rare. Section 4. The Ghosts of Defeat. Zoro carried the weight of his past failures like a physical burden. The memory of his defeat at the hands of Mihawk, once a bitter reminder of his own weakness, now haunted him with a renewed intensity. In the face of the world's collapse, his own shortcomings felt amplified, a constant echo of his inability to protect those he cared about. He trained relentlessly, pushing himself to the brink of exhaustion, seeking solace in the rhythmic clang of steel against steel. Every swing of his swords was a prayer, a desperate plea to become strong enough to never again experience the gut-wrenching agony of defeat. The world might have fallen to ruin, but Zoro refused to let his spirit follow suit. He would honor his promise to Luffy, to his fallen comrades, by becoming a shield, a protector, a blade forged anew in the fires of loss and determination. He would not allow the ghosts of his past to dictate his future. Section 5. Nami, the cartographer of chaos. The world had changed, its once predictable seas now a swirling vortex of unpredictable currents and treacherous storms. But for Nami, the brilliant navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, the challenge remained the same: to chart a course through the chaos, to find her way in a world gone mad. Her maps, once filled with the promise of adventure, were now testaments to the world's fragility, crisscrossed with lines denoting danger zones, radiation zones, and the territories of ruthless warlords. The seas, once her playground, were now a battleground, and Nami, the once carefree navigator, had become a cartographer of chaos. Her knowledge of meteorology, once used to predict the perfect wind for their sails, was now a tool of survival, a way to navigate the increasingly erratic weather patterns that threatened to tear the world apart. She tracked the movement of storms, the shifting of tectonic plates, the ebb and flow of the tides, seeking order amidst the chaos. Section 6. A World Adrift. Nami's maps were more than just geographical guides, they were chronicles of a world adrift. Each line, each symbol told a story of loss, of change, of the delicate balance of nature thrown into disarray. The islands they once visited, now mere specks on her map, were either swallowed by the sea or reduced to barren wastelands. The world's collapse had unleashed forces beyond their control, altering the very fabric of reality. The Grand Line, once a testament to the boundless possibilities of the world, was now a stark reminder of its fragility. But Nami, despite the despair that threatened to consume her, clung to hope. She knew that as long as there were people who dared to dream, to fight for a better tomorrow, then even the most shattered world could be rebuilt. Her maps, though marked by the scars of the past, were not just chronicles of loss, but blueprints for the future. Section 7. Usopp, the fabricator of hope. In a world where resources were scarce and despair was abundant, Usopp, the self-proclaimed sniper king of the Straw Hats, had found a new calling. He was no longer just a sharpshooter, a weaver of tall tales. He was a fabricator of hope, a scavenger of forgotten technologies, a beacon of ingenuity in a world shrouded in darkness. His lies, once a source of amusement and occasional frustration for his crewmates, had taken on a new weight. They were stories of resilience, of triumph over adversity, of the indomitable spirit of humanity refusing to be extinguished. His slingshot, once used to launch harmless projectiles, was now a weapon of last resort, modified to fire scavenged explosives and makeshift flares. His nose, once a target for ridicule, had become an asset, its heightened sense of smell allowing him to sniff out hidden caches of supplies, forgotten sources of fresh water. Section 8. Lies that bind. Usopp's greatest talent, however, lay not in his marksmanship or his resourcefulness, but in his ability to spin tales that kept their spirits afloat. His stories, though often embellished, were threads of hope woven into the fabric of their despair. He spoke of giants and dragons, of mythical islands and hidden treasures, of a world waiting to be rediscovered, a world where dreams were not just fantasies, but possibilities waiting to be grasped. His lies, in a world stripped bare of illusions, had become a strange form of truth. They were reminders of a time when the world was filled with wonder, a time when anything seemed possible. They were the glue that held their fractured spirits together, the lies that bound them to their humanity, to their dreams, to the belief that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope. Section 1. Shadows of the Past. The world government, once a monolith of power projecting its authority across every corner of the Grand Line, was now a phantom, a haunting memory of a bygone era. The once feared symbols of their rule, the towering marine warships, the imposing fortresses, the ubiquitous presence of their soldiers, were now relics, slowly being consumed by the relentless embrace of the sea and the encroaching wilderness. The grand ideals of justice and order they purported to uphold had dissolved into a mire of infighting and desperation. The once absolute power they wielded had become a cruel jest, a fading echo of a time when their word was law and their actions went unquestioned. But the shadows of their reign still lingered. The fear they had instilled, the systems of control they had established, continued to influence the fragmented remnants of their society. The world, though shattered, still bore the scars of their rule, a stark reminder of the fragility of power and the enduring legacy of oppression. Of all the casualties of the Great Collapse, none were as symbolic, as viscerally satisfying to the masses, as the downfall of the celestial dragons. Those pampered, self-proclaimed gods among men, accustomed to a life of luxury and entitlement, were ill-equipped to handle the brutal realities of a world stripped bare. Their gilded cages had become their tombs, their wealth a useless trinket in a world where survival was bought and sold with grit and determination. The slaves they once commanded, now free from their shackles, viewed them with a mixture of pity and contempt, a potent reminder that the wheel of fortune had turned. The fall of the celestial dragons was a stark lesson in the ephemeral nature of power. Those who had once considered themselves above the fray, untouchable in their ivory towers, were now forced to confront the consequences of their actions, to face the wrath of those they had so long oppressed. In the vacuum left by the world government's collapse, a new breed of power emerged, the warlords. These weren't the romantic swashbucklers of old chasing dreams of treasure and freedom. These were hardened survivors, driven by necessity, their ambition fueled by the primal need to secure resources and dominance in a world where such things meant the difference between life and death. The old pirate codes, the whimsical notions of camaraderie and honor among thieves, had long since been discarded. The warlords ruled through might, their territories carved out through bloodshed and enforced with an iron fist. They were a reflection of the world's broken state, a testament to the brutal pragmatism that had become the guiding principle of survival. Some warlords were former Marines, their sense of duty twisted by the world's collapse, their loyalty now pledged to their own survival. Others were pirates who had seized the opportunity to carve out their own empires, their ambitions no longer bound by the old world's constraints. The once proud Marines, the iron fist of the world government, were now a scattered and demoralized force. Stripped of their purpose, their command structure in disarray, they had become a shadow of their former selves, clinging to the tattered remnants of their uniforms and their fading sense of duty. Some had turned to banditry, their oaths of justice forgotten in the face of their own survival. Others, clinging to their ideals, sought to bring order to the chaos, to protect the weak from the predators that roamed the wasteland. But their efforts were often piecemeal, hampered by a lack of resources and the sheer overwhelming scale of the disaster. The Marines, once a symbol of order and stability, were now a microcosm of the world's fractured state, a testament to the corrosive effects of despair and the enduring power of the human spirit, flickering even in the darkest of times. Section 5. Black Market Barter. With the old world's economies in ruins, trade had devolved into a brutal barter system, a high-stakes game of survival played out in the shadows. Black markets thrived amidst the rubble, offering everything from scavenged technology and salvaged weapons to the most basic necessities: clean water, food, medicine, all exorbitantly priced and often obtained through less than legal means. Information had become a currency as valuable as any physical commodity. Maps charting safe passage through treacherous waters, whispers of hidden oases untouched by the blight, rumours of lost technologies that could tip the balance of power, all were traded with a mixture of desperation and suspicion. In this new world order, allegiances were fluid, trust a luxury few could afford. Every transaction was a gamble, every interaction fraught with the potential for violence. The black markets were a microcosm of the post-apocalyptic world, brutal, unforgiving, and yet a testament to the enduring human spirit, the will to survive even in the face of overwhelming odds. Section 6. Whispers of Revolution. Even in this world teetering on the brink, where survival was a daily struggle, the embers of rebellion still flickered. Whispers of dissent, of a longing for a better world, travelled through the wasteland, carried on the wind, hidden in plain sight amidst the chaos. The fall of the world government had not erased the thirst for freedom, for justice, for a world free from the tyranny of the strong. If anything, the collapse had only amplified these desires, fueled them with a desperate hope that even amidst the ruins a new world could be built. These whispers were often fragmented, scattered, lacking the cohesion to coalesce into a unified force. But they represented a flicker of hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to dream, to aspire, to fight for something better, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. Section 7. The Heart of the World. The Grand Line, once a testament to the world's boundless potential, now mirrored its broken state. The once vibrant ecosystems had been ravaged, twisted by the cataclysm into something alien and hostile. The seas churned with unpredictable currents, monstrous storms and mutated creatures, remnants of a world struggling to find a new equilibrium. Yet, even in this desolation, life persisted. Resilient pockets of humanity clung to existence, adapting to the harsh realities, finding ways to thrive in a world that seemed determined to extinguish them. These survivors, hardened by loss, were a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. The Grand Line, though forever changed, was not devoid of beauty. There was a stark, haunting beauty to its desolation, a reminder of the awesome power of nature and the tenacious grip of life, clinging to existence even in the most inhospitable of environments. It was a world waiting to be reborn, a canvas upon which a new future could be painted. The world was a tempest, a maelstrom of despair and destruction, but even in the heart of the storm, there existed a flicker of something pure, something unbroken. Monkey D. Luffy, the boy who refused to let the world steal his dreams, still carried the weight of the straw hat. But now, it wasn't just a symbol of his own ambition. It was a beacon for the lost and the broken. The world had changed, twisted into a cruel parody of its former self, but Luffy's spirit, his unwavering belief in the power of dreams, remained a constant, a glimmer of light in the encroaching darkness. He knew deep in his heart that the pursuit of the One Piece was no longer just about becoming the Pirate King. It was about something far greater, something that resonated with the very soul of the world. He saw it in the eyes of the survivors he encountered, in the ragged bands of refugees clinging to life amidst the ruins, in the weary Marines who still clung to a shred of their former ideals. The world was broken, but it wasn't beyond saving. There was still hope, faint as a dying ember, but it was there, waiting to be fanned back into a flame. The Straw Hat Pirates, scattered by the winds of fate, were no longer just a crew. They were a symbol, a legend, whispered around campfires and across the ruins of once great cities. Their exploits, their unwavering loyalty to their captain and to each other, had taken on a mythical quality. Zoro, the stoic swordsman, his blade a beacon of strength in a world consumed by fear. Nami, the brilliant navigator, charting a course through the chaos, her maps offering a glimmer of hope to those adrift in a sea of despair. Usopp, the weaver of tales, his lies transformed into lifelines, his stories reminding people of the beauty that still existed in the world. Each member of the Straw Hats, in their own way, embodied the spirit of resilience, of unwavering hope in the face of overwhelming odds. They were a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, camaraderie, loyalty, and the pursuit of dreams could be a source of strength and inspiration. The Grand Line, though scarred and broken, was still vast, its shattered remnants holding the echoes of countless adventures, of forgotten dreams, and the potential for a new beginning. The Straw Hats, driven by Luffy's unwavering belief, knew that their journey was far from over. Their quest for the One Piece had taken on a new dimension. It wasn't just about finding a treasure, a symbol of ultimate freedom. It was about rediscovering the spirit of adventure, of camaraderie, of pushing beyond the boundaries of the known world. It was about finding a way to bring people together, to rebuild what had been lost, to create a new paradise from the ashes of the old. Their journey would be fraught with danger, their path littered with the remnants of a world gone mad. They would face ruthless warlords, navigate treacherous waters teeming with mutated creatures, and confront the ghosts of their own pasts. But through it all, they would hold on to their dreams, their loyalty to each other, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of nights, the dawn would eventually come. The collapse had brought about an unprecedented period of darkness. But as with all things, even the darkest night eventually gives way to dawn. And with the dawn comes the promise of a new beginning. A chance to rebuild, to learn from the mistakes of the past, and to create a world where the tragedies that had befallen them would never be repeated. The fall of the world government, though born of chaos and destruction, had inadvertently shattered the old power structures, creating an opportunity for a new order to emerge. An order built not on oppression and fear, but on cooperation, empathy, and a shared desire to create a better future. The seeds of this new world were already being sown in the refugee camps, where survivors shared their meager rations and offered comfort to strangers. In the makeshift schools, where children, too young to remember the world before, were taught the importance of kindness, compassion, and resilience. And in the hearts of those who refused to give up hope, who clung to the belief that even amidst the ruins, something beautiful could be rebuilt. Luffy, with his infectious grin and unwavering optimism, was a catalyst for this change. His very presence seemed to dispel the gloom, to remind people of the simple joys that had been stolen from them. He saw the potential for happiness, for laughter, even in the most dire of circumstances. He organized impromptu feasts, using whatever meager supplies they could scrounge up. He challenged the children to races through the ruins, their laughter echoing through the desolate streets. He reminded them that even in a world stripped bare, there was still room for joy, for connection, for the simple act of living in the moment. His spirit was infectious, spreading like wildfire among those who had forgotten what it meant to smile, to laugh, to hope. He was a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness, a living testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to find joy even amidst the ruins. Nami's maps, once used to navigate the treacherous currents of the Grand Line, had taken on a new significance. They were no longer just geographical guides, but blueprints for the future, charts mapping out a course towards a better tomorrow. She marked down locations of freshwater springs, fertile pockets of land where crops could be grown, hidden valleys sheltered from the worst of the storms. Her maps were a testament to the power of knowledge, of understanding the world around them, of harnessing the forces of nature instead of being at their mercy. She taught people how to read the stars, how to predict the weather patterns, how to survive in a world that had become as unpredictable as it was unforgiving. Her maps were not just about finding their way in the present, they were about charting a course towards a future where humanity could not just survive, but thrive. The Straw Hats, once a ragtag band of pirates chasing after a seemingly impossible dream, had become something far greater. They were symbols of hope, their names whispered with reverence by those who dared to dream of a better world. Their journey was far from over. The world was still broken, the scars of the past running deep, but they carried with them the spirit of adventure, the unwavering belief in the power of dreams, and the knowledge that they were not alone. The Grand Line, though forever changed, still held the promise of adventure, of discovery, of a future where the mistakes of the past could be rectified. The Straw Hats, with Luffy at the helm, were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, their hearts filled with the echoes of laughter, the warmth of camaraderie, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, the dawn would eventually come. The world of One Piece, once brimming with the vibrant energy of boundless adventure, now lay fractured, a desolate landscape haunted by the ghosts of its vibrant past. The echoes of laughter and the sounds of bustling markets had been replaced by an eerie silence. The Great Collapse, a cataclysm of unimaginable proportions, had reshaped not only the geography of the Grand Line but the very soul of its inhabitants. The once unbreakable spirit of adventure had been replaced by a grim determination to survive. Gone were the days of carefree exploration, of whimsical dreams pursued with reckless abandon. The remnants of those dreams lay scattered, like broken toys, in an abandoned playground. In their place stood a stark reality, a brutal struggle for survival in a world where the old rules no longer applied. Every day was a battle, every moment a test of endurance. The familiar power structures that once governed this world, the world government, the Marines, even the hierarchy of the pirates themselves, had crumbled into dust, leaving behind a void swiftly filled by those who thrived in chaos. Opportunists and warlords, driven by necessity and ambition, carved out their own domains amidst the wreckage, their rule enforced through might rather than any sense of justice or order. The strong preyed on the weak, and the concept of fairness was a distant memory. The seas, once pathways to adventure, were now treacherous battlegrounds, patrolled by scavengers, raiders, and creatures twisted by the cataclysm into something monstrous and strange. The waters held dangers that no map could chart. Yet, even in this desolate landscape, the human spirit, much like the resilient flora pushing through the cracks in the pavement, refused to be extinguished. The dream of a better tomorrow, of a world rebuilt from the ashes of the old, flickered like a fragile flame, passed from one weary soul to another, a testament to the enduring power of hope. In the darkest of times, hope was the light that guided them forward. It was this hope, fragile yet unyielding, that kept the dream of a new world order alive. At the heart of this struggle, amidst the wreckage of their former lives, stood the Straw Hat Pirates, forever bound by a shared history, a shared dream, and an unwavering loyalty to their captain, Monkey D. Luffy. Their journey had been fraught with peril, but it was their unyielding spirit that kept them moving forward, no matter the odds. The world's collapse had tested them, stripped away their naivete, and forced them to confront the brutal realities of a world gone mad. Yet, in the face of such overwhelming adversity, they found strength in each other, drawing from their shared experiences and the bonds they had forged over countless adventures. But through it all, their spirits, much like Luffy's indomitable will, remained unbroken. They stood tall, their resolve hardening with each challenge, their determination shining brighter than ever before. Luffy, once the carefree boy chasing after the elusive title of Pirate King, now bore the weight of leadership with a quiet intensity. His eyes, once filled with innocent wonder, now held a depth of understanding and a fierce determination to protect his crew and their shared dream. The world's collapse had tempered his idealism, replacing it with a steely resolve, a deep-seated understanding that true freedom wasn't just about sailing the seas unburdened, but about protecting those he cared about fighting for a world where everyone could pursue their dreams without fear. He had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience in a world that had lost its way. Zoro, his ambition to become the world's greatest swordsman, now tempered by the harsh realities of survival, had become Luffy's steadfast right hand, a silent protector whose blade spoke volumes where words failed. His loyalty was unwavering, his strength a pillar for the crew to lean on. Nami, her cartographic skills, now more vital than ever in a world where the very geography was in flux, charted their course. Her maps not just guides through treacherous waters, but symbols of hope, leading them towards a brighter future. Her keen intellect and unwavering determination were crucial in navigating the ever-changing world. Usopp, his tales no longer just whimsical boasts, but lifelines for the weary and despairing, wove stories of resilience, reminding everyone that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could find solace in laughter, in camaraderie, in the enduring power of dreams. His stories were a beacon of light, a reminder that hope and courage could prevail against all odds. The world they traversed was a tapestry woven from the threads of their shared history. The ruins of once great cities whispered tales of the world government's hubris, of the celestial dragon's decadent reign, of a world consumed by its own avarice. The remnants of marine bases, now havens for refugees or strongholds for opportunistic warlords, served as stark reminders of the fragility of power, of how easily order could descend into chaos. Yet, amidst these echoes of the past, the seeds of a new future were being sown. In the makeshift communities springing up amidst the wreckage, in the shared laughter of children playing amongst the ruins, in the quiet acts of kindness exchanged between strangers bound by a shared struggle, the indomitable spirit of humanity persevered. The world may have been broken, but the human capacity for compassion, for resilience, for hope remained intact. The Straw Hats, through their actions, through their unwavering belief in a better tomorrow, became unlikely beacons in this new world. Their reputation, carried on the winds of rumour and whispered tales, preceded them, inspiring hope in the downtrodden, sparking defiance in the hearts of those who had resigned themselves to despair. They were a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, even when the world seemed determined to break them, the human spirit could endure. The quest for the One Piece, once a singular pursuit, a treasure hunt on a grand scale, had taken on a new dimension. It was no longer just about reaching the end of the Grand Line, about claiming the title of Pirate King. It was about rediscovering the true meaning of freedom, about fighting for a world where everyone had the right to pursue their dreams, unburdened by oppression or fear. Their journey was far from over. The world they now navigated was as unpredictable as it was unforgiving. Dangers lurked around every corner, from the remnants of the world government's shattered forces to the ambitions of power-hungry warlords. The seas themselves seemed to reflect the world's fractured state, prone to sudden storms, treacherous currents and monstrous creatures spawned from the depths of the cataclysm. But the Straw Hats pressed onward, their belief in each other, in their captain's unwavering optimism, their guiding light. The map to the One Piece was no longer just a chart leading to a physical destination, but a testament to the power of dreams, a symbol of the uncharted course they were charting towards a brighter future. The world of One Piece, reimagined through the lens of a post-apocalyptic reality, becomes a poignant reflection of our own anxieties, our own fears about the fragility of civilization and the enduring power of the human spirit. It paints a picture of a world where the familiar seas and islands are replaced by barren wastelands and crumbling cities. It asks us to confront the darkness, to acknowledge the very real challenges we face as a global community, and to see the resilience that lies within us. But also to never lose sight of the light that guides us through the darkest of times. In the face of overwhelming odds, in a world stripped bare by catastrophe, where hope seems like a distant memory, the Straw Hat's journey reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness, the most unwavering belief in a better tomorrow, can make a difference, can have a ripple effect, inspiring hope, igniting change, and ultimately leading us towards a brighter future. A future where dreams are not just dreams, but a reality we strive for. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, of how even in the darkest of times, stories can be a beacon of hope. Our imaginations can offer solace, inspiration, and a sense of direction, and a roadmap for navigating the uncharted waters of a world forever changed. A world where every decision matters. What if One Piece was post-apocalyptic? It becomes a powerful allegory for the challenges we face, the choices we make, and the enduring strength of the human spirit to overcome even the most daunting of obstacles. It shows us that no matter how dire the situation, the human spirit can endure, adapt, and triumph. It's a story that resonates with a raw, visceral power, reminding us that even in the face of despair, there is always a glimmer of hope. Even when the world seems determined to break us, our spirit remains unbroken. The will to dream, to hope, to envision a better future, to fight for a better tomorrow is a testament to our resilience, can never truly be extinguished. It is this unextinguished hope that lights our way